What's going on, everybody? Gary B. Jr., your media consultant. I'm here to talk to you all about chords. Now, I've made a video about chords already. This video is going to be added to the information that you learned in that one and take it to the next level. This is courtesy of one of our friends in the community. I call him Claude from Canada. He sent me an email with some really helpful insights and some things that I think are really going to be a blessing to everybody in the Free Show community. So let's check it out together. And so I've got FreeShow here. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to my shows tab and I'm going to select the option that says new show. And this song is going to be Reckless Love. And this cool feature is going to be something that comes with the web search. So you got to have access to the internet. I'm putting it in the songs category and I just select search and you'll see here Corey Asbury, Reckless Love. And then it's brought in by a source called Genius, but then there's this other source called Ultimate Guitar. All right. And there's 3 different versions of it. I'm not sure what each version does different, but I'm sure it probably has something to do with the chords. So I'm going to select this one. And you're going to see here that it actually brings in some chords into or notes or whatnot into the song. Now, I'm not an expert in music in any way, so take this with a grain of salt from the way I explain it, but understand the principles of it and use it to the way that makes sense for what your needs are in your ministry. So I've got the song here. If you go to the options in the upper right, you can see that I've got mine set to a maximum of 2 lines per slide. I got it set to format text and to auto assign groups. All right. And that's how I got to the point where you can see the intro and the verses and all that good stuff. But you also see these chords added to it or these notes added to it. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and select create. And now I've got this song here. And this song starts out with an intro that has some music notes or chords with it. So this is very important. All right. This is important because if you want to keep that in there for your band to understand what notes or what chords to play, what you want to do is you want to put it as a part of a stage view. And I don't even have an active stage view. I've got a primary and a live training. I'm going to go to my settings real quick. I'm going to go over to outputs and I'm going to enable a stage view. And I've got one called stage training here. And let's turn that on. Let's look at that. And it is set to a practice stage layout. Let's do this general stage layout as our default. Now I've got a stage layout. Let me go back to my show and I'm going to select this first one. All right. And you'll notice here that it shows up for the audience and it shows up on the stage. All right. Those are just some actual chords. But if I go to the next slide, you'll see that the chords are showing up on the stage, but not on the audience view. And you can see those there. But on the audience view, it's just a completely blank all black screen, basically no background, and then the text right in the middle. Now, what do we do with this first slide? Initially, me not being musical, I would just delete it, but I would recommend that you want to make that available for your band. So you can right click on this and then just say specific outputs and say this particular one is only going to go to your actual stage display. All right. And so specific outputs here, I've got, let's see here. I've got live to training. This is called stage training, and I don't see that option here. Live training, vertical. Let's see here. Let's go into edit. Let's see what we can do here. It's got a condition on it. I'm not sure what the condition is. Let's see. Okay. Show item if text is not blank. Interesting. And let me see. That's probably because of the template I've got on this. Let me see what the template is I've got. Yeah, I got it on a scripture template. So let's go into a song template and let's pick this one, just big bold. All right. And so I'm gonna go back to edit and I'm gonna right click on this and let's see if I can make this one just go to a specific output. And I see stage here at the very bottom. Let me see if stage is showing up here and I just couldn't see it. Specific outputs. So here it doesn't give you the option to put it to a stage. So I can go into the actual item on the slide and I can right click on that and make it go specifically to the stage. Okay. So that is only going to show up on the stage output. Let me refresh this. And now you won't see it here, but the folks on stage will see it. All right. So what you would do is whenever you see those pieces, so we got intro 1 and we got intro 2 here, you can go into it and go to edit, and we've got the option already selected there. Let's see here. Yep, it's already set to go to the stage, which is perfect. And let's go and see. So if I go here, you'll see that it goes only to the stage for them to be able to see those particular chords. And I believe it'll be the same way for all of these. So I can go to that one. So whenever you did that for the actual group, it did it for all the tracks, that all the times that group is shown, which is perfect. And then you'll see it here again, that same set of chords. All right. So that's the way that you would alleviate making sure that your chords are not showing up for your audience. Is just go into right click on it and edit, or go up to the top and edit. And then that text box itself, right click, go to specific outputs, and then select your stage output. All right. Now on your stage output, this is very important. I got mine set to I think it's the general stage. So if I go to my stage and I go to general stage, when you select your current slide where your general stage is, you want to make sure to activate chords. All right. If that's not active, you're not going to see those images. So I just deactivated it. So even though this particular show came with the chords built in, they won't be visible on your stage display if you didn't activate your chords. So I'm going to go back to my stage, and I'm going to go to my current slide text, and I'm going to go to the option that says chords, and we're going to activate it, and you'll see those chords there. Now you can do some options here to adjust the vertical offset. So I can raise this up here to make it be a little bit higher so they can be a little bit more visible for the band. You can change the size to be a little bit smaller. So I might make this be, instead of 60, we can make it 45 to make them a little bit smaller to where they can fit in there a lot better and be a little bit more visible. All right. Let's see here. Alignment. We can adjust possibly some of the text on one line, text transform. We don't need that. Let's see here. Fonts. You can adjust the spacing. The only thing you can do is you can hit keep style and it'll do that. But I wouldn't recommend that, only because it's kind of small. But I would keep it this way and let those be there. They're kind of overlapping. I just want to make sure. Let's see if we pull this down. You'll see it go there. And so you want to play with that and manipulate it in a way that makes sense for your band, for your music team, to make sure they can see everything the way they need to. And you can kind of go from there. And now I got this set to grow to fit. What if we say none? If we say none, it kind of does that, which is not bad, but it's set to grow to fit, which maximizes the size of it, which is helpful for your stage display. But this is how you would get your chords in very easily directly from the auto input from FreeShow. All right. So that's the ultimate guitar option. All right. And all the facets that come along with it. The next one is a tip about how to add chords manually into your song. So for some, we talked about the idea of going to the track and actually going to an actual song. So let's go to chorus. All right. So we're in the chorus here, and I can go to this little option here to text edit. And you can see here that you'll see those particular chords with brackets around them. Okay. Now, I'm not a chordsmith or a chord expert, but now you can actually transpose up the chords. So let's look up here. So this is G, M, or G minor, I'm guessing. Then we got an F, E, B. So if I go up one, everything down there changed. Let's see, I'm gonna go back. So this is A, B, M, and A, B, M. This is G, M, A, B, M, and then E. If I go down, it goes GM and then EB. So all these are changing, all right, as you go and transpose them. Now, like I said, I'm not a music person, so I'm not going to act like I understand any of that, but it's a quick and easy way to transpose for the right chord for your band members to be able to play the proper notes on their music, on their instruments, and potentially on their singing and things like that. All right. Now, that's the way that you would transpose them. And if you wanted to add another chord, you can just go in and you can put open bracket and then a closed bracket, and let's do F, and then I'll close the bracket, and you'll see that that particular note has been added. Let me put it in as a capital F. That's what all the rest of them look like. And it's there right on this first verse. Okay, so if I go into the show, let me turn this back off. All right, so it's on a verse. Let's see here. Still your love fought for me. All right, so let's look and see if we can find that. And here we go here. And so if I go into the edit and I can select chords, we should be able to see those chords show up here. Let's see here. I don't see them right away. Let's see. If I select that, there we go. So there's my F right there. And you can see it show up for us. And we also have a list of all these down here. And you can choose a chord. You can also select any of those down there. Now, like I said, I'm not sure what any of those do. Let's say if I select that though, you can come in here and pick one of those particular chords if you needed to. All right. This is a really cool way for you to manage your chords. So I can turn that back off to turn off that view. And now I can go back in and I can go to my show. And let's see, where's your love fought for me? Right here. You'll be able to see those chords there. And the one that I put in was this F right on top of the E there. Okay. And so you can do that with this particular process by simply adding your chord with the brackets, and you can transpose them really easily on your slides. So I'm gonna go back to this one. I'm gonna turn that off so that it's not visible on that slide. And we can refresh. And now that slide doesn't have them, but the stage view still does. All right. Now make sure you do it properly. Like I said, this is not what that needs to be. So I can go in, I can go to edit, and I can take that back out. Simple and easy. And it's gone, but you still have all the other chords that were there. They're proper chords. All right. So check this out. Implement it as best you can. The ultimate guitar is key. The ability to transpose very easily is in your edit page, just going up and down right here in the left corner, and then being able to edit and manipulate those by starting by hitting this text edit and just using your brackets to add in your chords manually is sometimes even quicker than going in and going to the dropout to actually add them in the other way that I've talked about by hitting this music note and then choosing a chord. All right. So hopefully this is a blessing for you guys. Thank you, Claude, for recommending it. And you guys have a great rest of the day. And until next time. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope it helped you in a major way. Now, at this point, most people would ask you to like and subscribe. And I think that's great. But my goal is a little bit different. My goal is to empower as many people as possible all over the globe. And there's one way that you can really help me do that. And that is to leave a comment below with a question, a thought, how this video may have helped you, or things that were left out that you still have questions about, and to share this video with someone just like you. Someone who is looking for answers, someone who's curious and wants to grow. With your help, I believe we can build a community of people that want to grow together. So until next time, God bless.